Good evening, everyone. I do realize the title of the stream is odd, and I do fully intend to play Jack and Daxter in a couple minutes. But again, I've got a new setup going on here, and running into some hiccups along the way, and I just want to vent for just a couple minutes here because I just had one of the most frustrating experiences, and it's not a new frustration. It's not something that's, oh, this is the first time I've had a negative experience. But I'm gonna work up to it. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna let out some frustration real quick here. So here's the thing. I When I got into PC gaming, I got into PC gaming pretty late. It's only been a few years. Um, and I'm in my 30s, so I mean we're talking like I'm late to the PC gaming crowd and PC hardware and all that fun stuff. I built my first computer in 2019. But I love hardware. I love all that right now, and I'm kind of into. And I say this very deliberately. I'm kind of into mechanical keyboards. Every keyboard I have in my house, and I have more keyboards than I have computers at this point, is a mechanical keyboard. I've bought. I haven't made my own mechanical keyboard. I will say that up front. I'm not that far into it. I have done everything from changing switches on existing keyboards to buying a keyboard that was easy to paint and to customize and done that. Or obviously replacing keycaps. So I mean I'm fairly. I'm not going to say knowledgeable because again that's a deep world and I know there are people that are very passionate about it and I'm not at the bottom of that iceberg by any means. But I've got mechanical keyboards. I know what switches I like at this point, although I'm always open to trying new ones. But when I started gaming, I looked for recommendations online, and I went with what I thought was the best kind of entry point for me and what felt the best when I was able to try them in hand. And I got myself the Logitech G502. Now that is a wonderful mouse. I love the G502. It had great reviews at the time for a reason. It's a great mouse. And I got in with the wired mice. So I had I think a G502 Hero, and then I bought a wired Hero Special Edition that's got like white accents because it matched my rig. I had a black and white keyboard, and the black and white mouse just went really well there, and it kind of fit my theme. My computer was a black and white theme. It all fit. So I got the Special Edition G502. So I had a couple wired G502s. And that was when I was getting into PC gaming, and that's what I started with. So that's kind of what I got used to. And I tried whatever the Razer similar body type was, and it was fine. But it didn't feel as smooth as the 502. That's not even really true. The biggest problem for me was probably just the fact that that Logitech in their mice have that in the G502 specifically, it's like a toggle where you can go between a completely open scroll, it's just there's no resistance, there's no ratcheting, it just spins and it spins well. Like you can get that thing going, and it's smooth. And you think when would you ever need it to do that? But like there are times it's super useful to have and super nice. Like if there's just, I mean, think about all the pages of terms and conditions that you have to do for certain websites. If you can just infinite scroll down, you just flick the wheel, you go down to the bottom. It still might take a couple seconds, but like it's way better than scroll. At least for me, and being able to switch between the two, the tactile click 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 of a ratcheting scroll wheel, and then that loose infinite scroll. Oh, I love it. It's so good. Interesting. Okay. Cool. So I might be overloading my PC. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Let me just flip that one off. That's not being used right now. Everything else, actually, yep, pretty much everything else is being used. Hopefully this is fine. It's worked every other night. I haven't really changed anything with the setup. It should be fine. Um, so back to my rant. I love the G502, and I'm kind of locked into it. But I wanted to go away from wired mice and go wireless. Just a little bit of cable drag. It's not a huge issue, and it's fine. Like they're fine. But I like hardware. I like the wireless. The latency appeared to be really low, and I haven't had a problem with the wireless mice. What I didn't realize I was getting into was the Logitech G Hub environment. I mean, it is absolutely wild to me that this software is so bad for one of the most popular devices that exists. Now, I'm not saying like it doesn't work. You can go in, you can remap keys, you can program it all, you can put lighting effects in, I guess. There's a bit of a learning curve on that, and I just honestly I tried to do a few things. It was fine. I couldn't get the effects to be exactly what I wanted. And again, maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe I'm just dumb and I don't understand how this is laid out. But here's the thing. Tonight, I was trying to do just the most basic thing that I want this app for. The main reason I want this app, if I'm honest, probably the only reason I install this app on every computer that I get. Because again, at this point I've got the G502 Hero, I've got the G502 Lightspeed. The Hero's my original wired one. I've got that hooked up to this computer, but in the other room, because for those of you that don't know, I recently built a new PC with better specs, and I was streaming off a laptop. I thought, why do that? I can put a couple holes in my wall. The other computer that I just built is out right there on the other side of this wall. So I put a couple holes in the wall, ran some cables. I'm running all of this off of... Right now, I'm actually running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USB devices off of one USB 3.0 cable that is running from that computer into this room. Again, there's a wall just to my right. I know you guys can't see that, but I'm going to point anyway as though you can. Oh, actually, it is the same wall that the ukuleles are on. So you can see the wall. That wall, but in this corner, I just put a hole there, ran a display port and an HDMI, set up the monitors in here, and actually it's really nice for a couple different reasons. One, the computer's in the other room, so any fan noise, which this computer's loud. It's been a good system, but it's those fans. I should really probably adjust the fan curve, but man, those fans are loud. Anyway, so I ran some cables over here. So everything, I've got a couple different mixers, my shitty little webcam, a controller dock for the 2.4 gigahertz. I've got an 8-bit Duo controller, and they come with like these docks that you can put the dongle in the dock and then plug the dock into your computer, so you get power from the computer, and it runs the dock right wherever your charging station is, so it should be real close to where you're playing. So I've got that going on there. Anyway, back to my angry ranting about this. All I wanted to do is I've dug up an old wired G502 Lightspeed that I got off eBay at some point. But with these Lightspeed mice, the shitty thing for me is that you can only check the battery by downloading the Logitech G Hub app. There's no other way that I know of. And it's just such a pain in the ass because the software doesn't boot half the time. I click on it, and the thing is, here's the problem. It's one of these stupid apps that kind of lives down here in your app tray. So sometimes you'll double click to open it when you open your computer, but either it's already open or it just opens straight into the app tray and you don't get the actual GUI, you don't get the interface. So you click it and it's like nothing happens. I'm like, am I the idiot? No, it's just shitty software. That's all that it is. We finally get it open. I can see both my mice. Again, I've got two on this computer because of my weird setup. And I just wanted to see what the battery was on this 502 Lightspeed. And I can't recreate it now. So you'll just have to take my word for it. That when I booted up the app, I downloaded it today because, again, it's a new computer. I haven't been using a wireless mouse. I don't care to use the software to remap the buttons, even though, great, I love that it has that functionality. I'm not going to use it. So if I'm not using a wireless Logitech mouse, I don't download G Hub. There's no reason for me to, because the main thing that I need it for is just the battery. So I've got this mouse over here. I'm gonna get to a point eventually, I promise. Um, and I download the app, and it does this stupid fucking thing where it just launches in the tray, apparently, or whatever. For whatever reason, it won't come up. So I'm like, is it broken? I don't know. Regardless, eventually I figure out to go down to the tray and open it from down here because, clicking on the shortcut doesn't open. It's fine. Okay, I'll get over it. It shows me both of these mice just like it shows you here. And that's the reason I'm doing this screen and not jumping right into the game right now, because I need you to see this. It's got this little wireless symbol here, the USB symbol here. Great. But it didn't show me this battery percentage. It wasn't there. This Wi-Fi was pushed over to the side. There was nothing else there. So I'm like, did they change it? Because I know at some point in the past they didn't have battery percentage on here. You had to go into the settings of the mouse. So did they change it back to that, which is so bad? At least they made this improvement. You can see it as soon as you open the app. You go in. I went through all the different settings, yada yada, whatever. I started going through the settings down here. I logged into my account strictly because I thought maybe if I log into my account, they will show me what percentage of battery is left on this stupid mouse. No, I had to close it, like completely hard close it from the tray, even relaunch it, and then it came back and it said battery 0%. I was like, well, that can't be right. I had it charging all afternoon. I know these things charge slow. They're on the old micro USB for this one. I have a 502X or Lightspeed X or whatever they are. It's, again, love the mice. The software sucks. I hate it so much. When I came back, it did show a battery percentage here, but it showed 0%. Can't be right. That's not possible. It's been plugged in all afternoon. It should at least have something. Again, something. And again, I'm using the mouse. I'm pretty sure it's not dead. But it was flashing red like it does when you're on, when you're low. So it's just. So I clicked into the mouse to the settings. And for some reason, when I came in here to look around and be like, can I turn some stuff off, whatever, I went back out and it shows 0, and then it plops right up to 58%. And I'm just like, I have no clue what battery percentage my mouse is on. And I know that's completely unimportant to anything that's going to happen on tonight's stream, because I won't even be using the mouse. I'm going to be playing Jak and Daxter on a controller, that 8-bit do that I was showing earlier. 8-bit do, 8-bit do, I have no clue. Whatever that company is, they make decent controllers. It's probably not my favorite, but it's nice. If you haven't tried it, it's worth a shot. It's got a nice little, kind of reminds me of a Switch Pro foot feel to it. But yeah, it's a good controller. I got the one with the charging dock and the 2.4 dongle, so just using 2.4 instead of Bluetooth, less latency, yada yada. Boring, whatever. Anyway, thus ends my rambling about why I think Logitech, to put it mildly, needs to do better. I'm so frustrated. And again, this issue tonight, it's a one-off thing. Again, I just downloaded the app. I know there's a lot of issues when there's a fresh app and whatever, like restart your computer. Some people say like I'm not into that. Like apps should work when you download them, applications, whatever. And I know it's not realistic, and maybe that's a me problem. That's something I need to do better at and actually, follow best practices. But regardless, I have never had a good experience with G-Hub software. Again, for a long time, if I'm remembering right, and maybe I'm not, I'm a little bit high, which is why I'm rambling about Logitech G-Hub instead of actually playing a game on Twitch. But I'm pretty sure that for a while, they didn't even show you the battery percentage on that little landing page. You had to go into the mouse. Oh my god. After I just talked about how it's a decent controller, I have had the worst trouble. Not the worst. Again, it's, by and large, it's a functional controller. But you can boot it into X input or D input mode. And sometimes it just doesn't want to work for me with this game. And again, it's an open source port. I don't know their compatibility. I can call it perfect, but it's been pretty good with most controllers. So maybe this is a port problem and not an 8-bit do problem. Interesting. But sometimes I'll just turn on the controller, change no settings, just pick it up from the dock and start using it. And it's... oh, That's not what I wanted. That's weird. Okay. And it won't connect, and it's randomly changed to the wrong input mode. Like it went from X input to D input, I believe. Uh, X input, I think, is the one that works with this port, but I'm not positive because I never actually pay attention to which one I'm changing to. I just try them both until something lets me play the game because monkey brain, me want to play game. Anyway, we're going back to Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, one of the games that defined my childhood and I played through too many times. But I'm playing through it again. But this time with the added benefit that I'm doing it live, my first time gaming on stream. I've done some coding in the past on stream, and that's completely different. We're doing it live, and also, for the first time, I've never done this before, I decided I'm pretty good at this game. I'm going to do it start to finish with 0 deaths. And I've been trying this for... It's not that long yet. It's a couple weeks. I started on Christmas on the 25th, and New Year's. I don't know, maybe 3 weeks? I can't do math right now again. I'm a little bit high. I had a little bit of an edible earlier, so... When I say earlier, I mean like an hour ago, so maybe an hour and a half. So right around the time when it's recently kicked in for me is my point. So I'm in a pretty good mood. Things are going well. Get to play Jak and Daxter, and hang out with all of you lovely people. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you joining the stream. But yeah, we're going to do 100% completion, all precursor orbs, all power cells, and all scout flies. Did I get that one? Looks like I did. Looks like it popped up a little bit. It's been some good progress in the past. And I mistimed that by a hair. Get out. Thank you, camera angle, for being possessed by like demon ghosts or something. And now my controller. Okay, guys, I'm not trying to be like hating on this controller or anything at all. Like, again, I'm using it for this stream. I think it's a decent controller, but now, like, it's just fully rumbling, and it wouldn't stop, and it wouldn't let me hit square before, so I couldn't do that jump. So that's why I look like an idiot. It's my controller. It's not me. I'm definitely never to blame. No, I make myself look like an idiot in far more interesting ways. It was just rumbling. I was about to put it up on the mic to see if the mic would catch it, because it probably would. It wouldn't stop rumbling. Maybe I hit a turbo button? I don't think there's a turbo on this. Oh my holy hell. There is a switch on the back for D and X input. So what have I been changing? What setting was I changing when I turned it on with different ways, and why did it sometimes work? The plot thickens. I apparently need to read the manual, so again, maybe this is all user error, this is skill issue, whatever. I'm sure this is a great controller, and 8-bit dude's like, you're slandering our product because you don't know how to use it. Like, yeah, it's fair enough. But also, like, no one from 8-bit dude is ever gonna see this stream. And again, I feel like I'm being fairly neutral to positive. It's a controller I like. It feels good. It reminds me of the Switch Pro. It's an expensive controller and one that's well regarded. But yeah, I think its implementation of different settings could be a little bit better, a little bit easier to understand for simpletons like me. Because again, so I've got. I guess let me give some context for why I thought that would work. I got this controller very recently, like earlier this week or late last week, and partially because I got my kid the cheaper $30 one for Christmas, because he has controllers that work and they're fine. his favorite color is green, and he's one of those people that, like, his favorite color is his favorite color. You will know what his favorite color is, and he will have as many things in his favorite color as he possibly can, to the point where, like, when he was younger, he wouldn't eat food if it wasn't, like, the right color bowl or plate or whatever. Like, we had multicolored plates because we have lots of kids, and, you know, hopefully it helps them to eat a little bit, because it's hard enough to get them to eat anything anyway. So, like, I got him the green, like, $30 2.4 gigahertz controller. And, like, it works pretty good. Like, I'm actually pretty impressed with them overall. I was impressed enough that I bought the more expensive version for myself because I'm the dad and I get the nice thing. Dang it. No, but, like, because I wanted the 2.4, I liked the charging station, so I didn't have to worry about plugging it in ever, and I could just leave the dock here, set up on my daisy-chained USB to USB hub to all of my shit in here, the couple mixers and the keyboard and all that stuff. So I bought it, and I've liked it pretty well. But on the controller that I bought for my kid, like, it straight up tells you, it's like, hey, this is how to boot into X input, this is how to boot into to D input. You hold X when you power on and it boots into X input mode, and you hold the B when you power on and it boots into D input, and you'll feel a little vibration to confirm that. So yeah, that's how you do it. So I was like, okay, cool, so that's how I'll do it on this controller too, because it's the same. I mean, like, they're very similar controllers. The price point's a little different. I basically chalked that up just to the charging dock that comes with it. Like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's there's looks like there's more under the hood, more differences, and I didn't pay enough attention to realize what all I was getting with this controller. But when I hold the button, the X or the B, when I power it on, it gives me a little vibration, like, hey, I'm doing what you told me to. So maybe this one can work with that software thing or the buttons, because again, like, it gives me that little vibration like it does on my kid's controller, and I know that works because there were some apps that, like, oh, only use this device, only use, like, X input devices or whatever. Like, they tell you, like, do this, and I had to switch it for one of them so it would work for him. And most modern games use X input. That's like the Windows input, I think. I think it's to mimic Xbox is why it's called X input. You know, Microsoft, Xbox, X mode, Windows. It all goes together. I'm not crazy. But the point is that fuck, what is my point? The point is that, like, I know I've booted into X input mode successfully before because, like, I had to, and it wasn't working before, and that fixed it. And again, it says it in its very much shorter instruction manual. Where am I going? I think I just need the power supply. So why am I running around here? What the fuck am I doing? So yeah, like, maybe it was working on this one, and maybe that's why I've been having, seems like, a little more problem with this one, because I've been trying to change. Maybe they left, like, the software switch, the ability to switch it in the software activated, and added a physical button, so, like, it's confused when there's a mismatch or something. Like, I'm just spitballing here. I have no clue. Maybe it's just that there was never really anything changing. It was just power cycling that was solving the problem. Seems to me that's probably most likely, because that's how you fix most problems with software. Turn it off and turn it back on again, or hardware for that matter. So, like, maybe I'm just projecting meaning where there is none, or injecting meaning where there is none. That makes more sense. Fuck, shouldn't have spoken. It's alright. Also, I am, like, this is, like, such a stupid thing to say because I'm way too old to use this phrase, but I can't think of another way to say it. Like, I'm like, low-key super stressed whenever I only have one hit left, since this is a, you know, one death and you're out kind of game, and I don't want to be out at this point. I'm, like, halfway through the game. And I've been at one hit left before death for a while now. So I'm trying real hard not to let it affect my gameplay. And I thought, oh sweet, I might get enough health in this room to go back up. But no, I did not. And so I'm still here, one hit from death. Still stressed about it. Oh, thank you guys for sharing my pain, because I know you feel it. I know you feel it too. God damn, it's too much. I think I should be able to get the orbs on this run around, but we'll see. That's the other thing. This level, it's stressful already just because, like this dark eco pool below me, there are just a shit ton of instant death methods in this level. And that is the worst thing for a run where there's attempting no deaths. I have died more times to open pits and dark eco and touching lava than I have to enemies. Like, it's not even a close competition. That has restarted so many runs for me, and it just sucks because it's like, again, I'm doing no deaths and not no damage because I'm not that good at video games. Like, I'm doing this mainly for fun, but like, I'm not that skilled. So, no damage means you have to play perfectly. No death means you have to play adequately. But again, like when they're instant death things, that's essentially turning it into a no damage run for that section. Fuck! It's been real, guys. It's been real. Real frustrating. Just kidding. Alright. Well. What's up, my friends? The time has come. Oh, is that really? Exactly 50%. In fairness, I never really intended that game to be the one, because as much as I can pretend it didn't happen, I did make a stupid turn right at the beginning of Fire Canyon and blow up on a bunch of dark eco boxes, so it wasn't really going to be a no-death run anyway, so we'll call this a blessing in disguise. Alright. Fucking G-Hub. It's the other thing, like, it'll just randomly change DPI on me. I didn't even press a button on the mouse yet. It just, guessing because the application changed, it just decided there's a... I don't know. I don't know. But it's frustrating as fuck. Alright. So we'll do this. We'll pull this guy here. That's the nice thing about playing on a PC on Open Goal. Thank you so much to everyone involved in Open Goal. It's wonderful. I love it. You're making reliving my childhood so much fun. Love it, guys. Thank you very much. I can pull those save files, and I can have a save file where I skipped the god-awful Geyser Rock. And again, for anyone new, it's not that Geyser Rock is really bad. It's not. It's not great. It's not what I would call a good tutorial level, but it's probably good for the time. Again, this came out in 2001. And I feel like every time I die and restart, I say the same things. But if you got sick of hearing it, you just wouldn't come back to the stream. So, you're going to listen to it again. It's the fact that they commit the worst sin in, I think, in video games. I think, for me, this is probably the biggest one. Is they take control away from you while they're trying to immerse you in the character. It's like, hey, you're this cool person here, and here's all the stuff you can do, but hey, stop, don't do the stuff. Wait till we tell you to do the stuff. No, you're walking towards that shiny thing. Oh, we're gonna stop you. We're gonna stop you, and you can't keep walking. Like, it's one thing if they want to, like, explain it to you or have, like, text pop up or anything, and, like, that's a kind of intrusive, but I get it. It's a tutorial level, but, like, This game just actually stops you, just in your tracks. You are just there, walking towards the green. You go where the precursor orbs, because you know where everything is. There's only there's nothing in that fucking level, and it's all on one main path, and it's so easy to finish, and there's virtually no way to die. I mean, you can, but you gotta work at it. So, like, and again, it's a short level. It only takes about 5 minutes, even with all the times that they stop you. And I know because this game is 5 minutes in, and this is where I pulled the save file from, so I don't have to do it anymore. So 5 minutes is not a lot, but also it feels so much longer because every couple steps, like, oh, we're going to tell you about this thing, and then you get a little bit further, it's like, oh, we're going to tell you about this thing, and you can't just walk while they talk. You can't keep going. You can't brush past it. You just have to fucking deal with it. So I said, no, I'm not dealing with it anymore. I will say no death run, skipping Geyser Rock. And in fairness, to myself, I cannot imagine that in a realistic scenario, I would have died in Geyser Rock and then just kept going on this no death run. Like, why wouldn't I have started over at that point? So I don't think it's that much of a compromise to say I will skip Geyser Rock every time. I don't even know if that really requires an asterisk. I mean, it probably would if it was like some type of like speedrunning thing or anything like that. Because obviously, like, every second counts, every move counts, and those guys are like, no damage runs must be a joke for them because the shit they do is insane and wonderful, and I don't have the time, patience, or skill to do it. So, props to you guys. Love it, but I'm not for it. It's not for me. We just wouldn't make a good couple. So, come on, dude. Get your furry ass in. I've always wondered if I could like hit them enough times fast enough to like knock them over the fence, but I don't think that's possible, and I don't actually think it would be funny enough for me to try. But like, they bounce up a little bit. I feel like you could probably get like a juggle going if you were really good at your timing, but again, I'm not. That's why I'm still doing this run. In fairness, I probably would be doing better if I hadn't recently taken an edible. I feel like I'm talking about that a lot, but it's still wild to me that I take edibles. Like, I grew up incredibly sheltered, incredibly conservative, and like marijuana was the worst thing in the world. Not because it was unhealthy or dangerous or even illegal, it's because God says it's bad. Oh, it's very funny. It's very funny. So anyway, I was raised in what I now consider a cult, and I left, and now I'm trying a bunch of stuff that I didn't try when I was growing up. So that wild phase you had in college, I'm doing that now as a mid-30s dude with multiple children who still has to be responsible enough to take care of, you know, our house and needs and stuff. So what it basically amounts to is now I have tried alcohol and found that while I enjoy being a little bit drunk, I dislike alcohol enough that I rarely will do that. But I happen to live in a state where marijuana is legal for recreational use, and while it may not be federally approved yet, signs are promising that it might be someday. I think it's actually fairly...
This must be a precursor oracle like the
I mean,
sage always
for
goes
me...
on about. I hope they weren't as ugly in person.
For me, if you're comparing marijuana and alcohol, it's no contest. I mean, like, how many recorded cases of marijuana overdose deaths are there? I don't think there's any. So, I mean, as far as that goes, it's pretty open and shut for me. It's people die of alcohol poisoning all the time, and I'm not saying alcohol is bad. Again, I enjoy being drunk. I'm just saying for me, if I have to choose, I'm gonna get high over drunk anytime. And honestly, I don't even remember what put me on that rant, so that's why I just kind of got stopped in my tracks. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you bastard. I know I was talking about Geyser Rock and speedrunning, and I'm not good enough to be a speedrunner, and now I lost my train of thought. Oh well. I'm not it. I'm gonna laugh if I die in Forbidden Jungle again. I have actually died. This is probably my second most common death area. Maybe my first. I don't know. I die here a lot just because I think I underestimated it a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is like the first level of the game. There's not any real threats here. I can just kind of not pay attention and breeze through, and then I'll like miss time a jump in the temple and go down a hole, or get off on my timing on those little spike dudes for the boss plant a little bit, and I'll just take one hit too many. And again, it is the first level, so I've died here quite a few times. I don't think I've died in Sentinel Beach at all.
Let's get up on that machine and break the mirror.
I've probably died on Misty Island, but I don't remember it specifically. Again, I think the vast majority of my deaths are here in Forbidden Jungle. And then, like, the most common cause of death has been any kind of one-shot kills. Falling down pits, touching lava, running into just, you know, like massive stacks of dark eco boxes. So yeah, it's been it's been a ride.
Line up the beam by pointing it at the next tower. Hey, we can follow the beam to find the next tower.
Oh, I missed. Okay. Well, let's do this part. Alright. If you're just joining the stream, we were at 50% complete earlier today. And I mean like 10 minutes ago. And I fucked up and I'm back at the beginning, so just went to the little spiel about how skipping Geyser Rock is totally justified and not cheating at all. And we're gonna go through. We're gonna get back to. I have a good feeling about this one. This one's gonna be the one where we get the 100%. So prepare to watch history being made. And yes, I'm fully aware that I'm sure other people have done this and they've done it in just ridiculously shorter amounts of time. I finally the other day looked up some YouTube videos of Jack and Daxter speedrunning. And I believe right now the world record speedrun for 100% is like an hour and 21 minutes or something, an hour and 20 minutes, something along that lines, which is wild to me. I typically take like 7 to 8 hours to 100% completion. And granted, I'm making very little effort to optimize or use any kind of coherent strategy other than go in a way that doesn't make me have to backtrack. But like, that just means Forbidden Jungle, that was loud. And then Sentinel Beach or Misty Island, and then the other one, and then, you know, move on to the next hub world. And then in the final hub world, you always do Snowy Mountain first, because Snowy Mountain gives you the yellow eco vent that lets you not have to backtrack, except for where you have to go back to the mountain pass, but there's no way you can do Snowy Mountain before the mountain pass. So yeah, that's about the extent of my optimizing is my point. So I'm nowhere near a speedrunner. And I'm sure if I was like
so it ain't gonna help us.
to think my way through the level and be like, okay, I could do these ones. They're kind of in the same area, or there's like a logical path between them. I could get it down to like 6 or 7 hours, but an hour and 21 minutes? That's wild. I can't even like fathom that kind of stuff. And I watched him do it. Well, I watched it for like 20 minutes and then I was tired. It was after a stream and I fell asleep. So, but it was wild. Like, just, he's going through Geyser Rock. And obviously I'm very familiar with Geyser Rock because that's what I did over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm like used to it. And I was like, oh, you're missing orbs. You're not going to get 100%. This isn't a true 100%. And then he like picked them up on a way that I would never have thought of. I was like, whoa! And it was way faster than I've ever done it. And he's doing all like the roll jump stuff and like just like watching somebody play through the game casually and watching someone go through a speed run of it. It's essentially not the same game anymore. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't like it just feels so incredibly different. And I'm not saying that as like a dig against either myself or speedrunners. I'm just saying it's a different thing. Like it's hard to consider them the same game almost anymore. Like just the way that his jack moved compared to the way that my jack moved, they're not the same character anymore. Like I think if you get under him, you can do like an uppercut and not wait for the branches. I'm not sure. That's what I read somewhere, but I haven't seen anyone do it. I didn't see that in the YouTube video. I didn't even get that far in the dude's speed run, so maybe it wasn't even 20 minutes. Maybe it was only like 5. Whoops, sorry. I'll go watch it later because it did look really cool. But I rarely have time to just sit down and just watch a video. I can get a decent amount of listening done as I get other stuff done, but I don't watch them, so YouTube is often a background thing for me, so things like a speed run just doesn't really fit because I want to watch that, you know? And it's something my wife is not at all interested in watching, so I'm not going to throw that on the TV when we typically spend like an hour or so after the kids go to bed just hanging out, watching a show or playing games or something, and then she falls asleep. I'm a much more of a night owl than she is, which is pretty common, I feel like. We'll watch shows and stuff, but like I wouldn't do that because like I know she wouldn't have a problem with it, but like it's not what she's interested in. We try to pick things that we're both like on board for, and if there's stuff that we like I watch a lot of political commentary and stuff like that. She's interested in some of it, but like not to the same extent I am. She's a more functional member of society, and her brain isn't that destroyed yet. So I say yet. We've been together for 10 years. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna drag her down too far. But yeah, we just like she'll watch shows that she's into and stuff when she has time, and I'll watch political stuff or like gaming stuff or PC hardware stuff or all the nerdy stuff. No, she'll watch, and again, she'll watch any of it with me without complaint. She's even interested in it sometimes, but it's just, I don't know. Oh, bad placement. Okay. Although, as far as like political or whatever, one of our favorite things to watch together as far as an actual like timely keep up with the show type of thing is we do both really like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, so we do watch that together when he's putting out new episodes. We'll do them I think he puts them out Sunday nights, so we'll watch them most Monday nights if we can get together and aren't exhausted because someone's sick or someone threw up or some project was due or something, I love kids, but I love having kids, but damn, they're a lot of work. And a recent stay-at-home dad, full-time dad, primary caregiver type thing. My wife's business took off, and so she's working on that a lot of time. It's stressful for her. I think it's just the fisherman then. Fisherman and the beams. Tight, tight. But yeah, like I tried to be an involved parent and be a good dad and like be a part of it while I was working full time, and but there definitely was a part of it. It was like, oh, I'm the primary income earner, and I get a little slack for that. I don't have to try as hard with the kids because that's her primary job. And now that I am the primary, I realize that was kind of like a dickish thing for me to do. Like, I never got to a bad point. Like, I was always willing to help and stuff, and I was always willing to do,
There are two types of good fish.
change the diapers and all that fun stuff. But I definitely let her bear more of the load than I probably should have in hindsight. Now that I'm doing it full time, like, and it's not like in a retributive way, but like, she does obviously less with the kids than she used to because she's not the full-time parent anymore, but like, she still does a ton more than I did to help her. And again, I'm taking more than 50% at this point. Like, I'm not saying she still takes care of all of it, but she does things like she gets up earlier than me, so she helps get them breakfast, and she doesn't mind because she's already up. But like, for me, that's a big thing, and like, that's one thing that she did when she was a stay-at-home parent, and she does now. But like, again, my point is that she's an amazing woman, and I didn't realize how much she was doing before, and I'm trying to do more to help her out now. So yeah, I'd say my perspectives have changed quite a bit, and I regret prior actions and will try not to repeat them. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of a stupid person, so I probably will make the same or similar mistakes again, despite my best intentions. Whew, that was close. I've missed 2 pounds of fish. I didn't notice that. Thanks, fisherman. Ooh. 200 pounds of fish.
I'd rather a couple of landlubbers. Here's the power cell I promised. And you can use my boat at the village dock. Whenever you like.
Damn, seems like a lot of my favorite games as kids are characterized by very weird laughter. Or at least contain scenes of very weird laughter. I'm turning the wrong dial to try to turn him down. But I love Jack and Daxter, and this dude's laughter has never left my brain for my entire life. And I also love Final Fantasy X. And one of the most famous cringe scenes from that game, even though I think it's unfairly cringe, and I think it was a good scene in context, and it was, I'm not going to say poignant, but it definitely hit the right emotional notes, at least for me, is the scene of them, forcing themselves to laugh awkwardly, but still doing it until it becomes genuine outside of, I believe it's outside of Luca on the high road. And yeah, like, obviously, it's a wacky laugh. It's not meant to be like, oh, we're seriously laughing at a joke. It's like, no, this thing that we're going through together is difficult, and it sucks, and we're unhappy. But god damn it, even if we have to force it and fake it, we're gonna get through it with laughter. And yeah, like, maybe it's a sappy message for a video game, and maybe it's the acting was a bit over the top, and maybe it's not perfect, but I think, and maybe I'm just misunderstanding their criticism. I try to be fair and like try to see both sides, but like, I think it's unfairly maligned as people just like, oh, that's silly laugh, funny. But I'm like, no, like, that's part of the point of that scene, is to be a stupid laugh. Like, obviously it's not like, nobody would ever laugh like that in real life, but like, that's the point. Again, it's forced, it's awkward. They're both awkward about it. They're both nervous, and god damn it, I skipped that beam, didn't I? Okay. I should stop talking about Final Fantasy and pay attention to the game I'm in. I don't know how that fisherman's laughter got me onto Final Fantasy, but god damn it, it found a way. uh, I will say though, for all of that, it's one of my favorite games that I've played, Final Fantasy X. I do have to confess that I never finished it. I got to Inside Sin. I was at the end of the game, and I think partially because I didn't want to be done with it, I started doing all the side quests, all the capturing the monsters, trying to get the celestial weapons is what they were called, or whatever the legendary weapons for each of them are. I think you need like the celestial mirror. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't think I haven't done that one yet. Okay. I'm having a real hard time keeping up with where I am. So I got busy doing all the other stuff, and like there's so much to do in that game, and I haven't played many games that I put that kind of time into these days. So maybe it's small compared to games these days, but it felt like an enormous amount of stuff to do. It felt like you could keep playing that game forever because that game came out probably around the same time as Jack and Daxter. So I was like, preteen, early teens, pretty young kid at that point. So it was just enormous. And I didn't really want it to end, so I didn't finish it. So I got to Inside Sin, and that was back on the old PS2, and I have no clue what happened to that memory card, and I have no clue if I'd even be able to, if it would still work if I found it. So I've started several new games since I'm an adult and can afford to buy the. I mean, I couldn't really afford to buy it, but I could afford more to buy it than when I was a kid, like the HD remaster, or whatever. Um, and I've played that on a few different devices over the years. Started playing through it on the Steam Deck and got pretty far into it again, and then got distracted by other games. But I've never finished it, and I still should. I know the whole story. I've watched countless breakdowns of it, discussions. I have a YouTube addiction. It's a problem. But oh, but I haven't finished it, and I should. So I'll do it at some point. I'll get to it. It's on my list. So when you realize that type of stuff is still on my list, like 20-year-old games that I still want to finish. No, I'll probably die if I do that. Let's go to Sentinel Beach. Misty Island is another popular death location for me. And again, it's the stupid instant death things like the open pits by like the on your way to like the ambush place. If you know the game, you know what I'm talking about. The open pits where you don't fall into the mist, Jack. I don't think we'll make it back, or whatever Daxter says. I am no Max Casella. I don't even. I know. You don't have to say anything. I get it. And for those of you who haven't spent as much time obsessing about Jack and Daxter as me, Max Casella is the voice of Daxter. Oh, that was dirty. Oh no. I'm gonna record my first death on Sentinel Beach tonight. Fuck, that was close. Holy cow, I was joking. I was joking. Can we calm down, guys? Come on, come on. Man, whoever's on the cannon tonight has got it out for me. And they're good. Alright, I think I'm going to book it over to those green eco vents because I'm a little worried right now. Just going to ignore all the enemies. Ooh, this might be enough to get me there, actually. No! Fuck! Alright, phew. I feel better. How far will they chase me? Not far enough, I guess. Can I get him to go that far? Why am I doing this? I know, because I'm high. Alright. Come on, buddy. How far will you come? Can I bring you through the whole level? I don't think I've ever tried this. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Let's go across the bridge together. Will you cross the bridge? You will. Oh, did I lose you? Did he just like teleport back to the start? Where'd he go? Why did I look away? Damn it. I think I broke the game. Well, there he is. Again, I haven't watched other people play. I haven't watched speedruns. I haven't watched anything like that. I'm a poser in this community. I know it, but I didn't know that happened. That was cool for me. Can kite them far enough away that they just respawn back at their start point. That's kind of hilarious. That's the thing. For all that I have a YouTube addiction, and for all that I love gaming, I don't really watch streamering. I don't really watch any streamers. Like, even the few people that I know that are famous from Twitch and that I keep up with relatively, I guess is the only word because I don't really keep up with them. I watch their stuff on YouTube. Like, I watch their clip compilations, the recent uploads or whatever from YouTube. And I just don't watch Let's Plays. I'll watch like walkthroughs for games because I am that kind of a guy that I'm like, I'll get lost if I don't have directions. So I do watch them. There's some games I try to avoid them for, and there are some games I actively seek them out for, and I'm not going to tell you what they are because, quite frankly, my list is embarrassing. But But yeah, so I haven't watched many people like play Jack and Daxter. I've watched people review it. I've watched people like a little bit of theorizing about it, I guess. Not even a lot of that for Jack and Daxter, just because it's such. By the time I was on YouTube, Jack and Daxter was essentially confirmed as dead. Like the Lost Frontier, the Last Frontier, whatever it is. I think it's Lost, but who the fuck cares? That game sucks ass. That had already come out and basically just confirmed to everyone that it was dead. I think Naughty Dog had not explicitly stated, or maybe they did explicitly state, but had basically made it very clear that they had moved on from Jack and Daxter. And they were trying to, move on from like the kids platformer games to like the serious adult story games with like Uncharted and shit, which is fine. Like they're killing it with what they're doing now too. No hate for them. They want to do something different, so they did. Great, fantastic. But like Jack and Daxter to Uncharted had been kind of their splitting point as far as they were concerned, is what I remember. And again, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've really looked into it, but I recall that being the case. So Jack and Daxter was pretty much dead. So like what and this sounds bad because like this isn't really how I feel about most things, but like what's the point of crafting theories or speculating or whatever if like there's not going to be any more canon? Like even if you put together the magnum opus of how Samus really is the true precursor hero or whatever, like this is all nonsense because like obviously. But that's the point. Is like it doesn't matter what fans come up with. They can still come up with like interesting theories and ideas, but in a certain sense, like it's never gonna be fulfilled. So some of the fun of it, especially for spectators, I think it's reasonable to have some of that, to not have some of that spark for that type of stuff. Like I love going into fan communities for ongoing properties and be like, oh well, this probably ties to this, and this is a sign that this is coming, and like. All that stuff. And again, I do believe that, like, to an extent, the author's opinion is not law. I think that people can come up with their own interpretations and meanings that, well, maybe not canon, are just as relevant and influential in their own lives as what am I trying to say? They're relevant to them. Like, if I come up with a theory about Well, let's use a real example. Like, I have a headcanon for Bloodborne. And, like, I don't know if there'll ever be a Bloodborne 2. Seems like no. They're not even going to remaster it ever, but whatever. My headcanon for Bloodborne, and it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I know that it's wrong. And I'm not trying to claim that this is, like, the actual thing. That's why it's a headcanon. But in my headcanon, what's really happening throughout the whole game is that you are just going insane over the course of the night. And I know, like, with the insight system, that's basically what the game is saying too. But I mean in, like, the literal hallucinating, seeing shit, going insane kind of way. And your madness is progressing throughout the night. And it's not you're sitting in bed, like, laying there, imagining doing all this heinous shit. No, it's worse. All the monsters that you're fighting, everything like that, these are just regular townspeople that in your brain has twisted them into monsters and horrific people. And as your madness progresses throughout the night, like, the beasts get bigger, the beasts get scarier, they're more warped, they're more twisted. By the end, you're seeing, like, the monsters that you'd seen at the beginning, but twisted even further, made even more grotesque and just even more wrong. And to me, that's super cool. I like that idea. It's fun for me. It's not right. The author doesn't agree with me. Like, it's not the official canon explanation for the game, but I think it's fucking cool. So I'm going to keep it in my head because I think that's so fun to be like, oh, you really are the monster. It's not like a town of monsters that were, like, brought down by their own hubris or greed or whatever it is because they're drinking the blood of the old ones or whatever. No, it's just that, like, this is a regular ass town that you came to for some reason because you were sick or whatever, needed help, and you're just fucking murdering all of them, and you've invented this reason why it's okay in your head or why it's even good or why you have to. But, like, at the end of the day, you're just like this dude on a massacre, and it's just this town trying to protect itself from you, and that's just so awful that I love it. Maybe that says more about me than it probably should, but, like, that's my headcanon. And my point is that, like, even if it's never going to be confirmed and there's going to be no Jack to expand on these theories about, like, Jack and Mar or whatever, like, yeah, I get that they're still meaningful, especially to people that are, like, really involved in it and all that, but, like, I never was. So I just never really got into, like, Jack and Daxter theory crafting or whatever. And, like, I'm sure there's a community for that because, like, welcome to the internet. But I've never been a part of it, so I'm probably going to be discovering things and talking about things as I play through this, and if I ever do the other games, that's just like, to anyone who's familiar with Jack and Daxter, gonna be like, duh, obviously, like, we've all known this for years. Where have you been? And my answer is like, not in this community. Sorry, not because there's anything wrong with this community. That's just not where I landed. I landed in some weirder communities, so. Love Jack and Daxter, know nothing about the community. So sorry, guys. I am definitely a poser here. But it's fine. I still love the game. I've played through it dozens of times. And I'm just here to have some fun, so. Don't cancel me, I guess. Or two, I don't care. Oh, shit. Gotta go over there. Hard to be canceled when you're not really a thing. Again, my job right now is stay-at-home dad. I'm not famous. I don't do anything. Like, what's gonna happen to me? A couple people on the internet leave me mean comments because I played Jack and Daxter and I'm not that familiar with the Jack and Daxter community. I think I'll be okay. And by that I mean I don't think anyone cares. Not like I can survive the hate mob. There won't be a hate mob. Nobody cares. Oh man, it's getting late. I'll finish up Sentinel Beach and then we'll be done. Flood egg off the cliff. Oh, what power cell am I missing? Oh, shit, that's gonna be fun. Did I not get it off the seagull cliff? Fuck me if I did that again. Oh, that wasn't gentle at all. Okay. And Daxter's got a new friend. For those of you that don't know, when the egg hatches, it imprints onto Daxter as his mother. Because for some reason, that was like the height of comedy at this point as well. Like, I don't remember other specific examples, but I'm sure that there were other cartoons where the same thing happened, where it's like, no, I'm not your mom. Because a baby animal comes out and, like, you know, the old myth about, like, oh, the first thing they see, they think it's their mom and they can't be taught otherwise. Like, animals aren't that stupid. I don't think they are. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off base here. Maybe they really are that stupid, but I tend to think that that's probably unlikely, and it's probably more likely that, like, yeah, they might follow the thing that they see first for a little while, but, like, at some point you're gonna realize, like, that's not your parent. I don't think that's a real thing. I just, call me bullheaded, and maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong about much more important things than this. I just think that's a legend. Ooh, no, I'm missing 6 precursor orbs. Oh, fuck me. Oh, they're right there on the beach. Tight. Should I give myself a heart attack? Oh, lurker shark, where are you? Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. Hey, buddy. Goodbye, buddy. Yeah, apparently I'm the type of masochist who likes heart attacks. This is about as close as horror gaming as you're gonna see me get, apparently. Yeah, but I'm not done with this world yet, Kira. Slow down, baby. Oh, this game brings out the inner child in me in all the wrong ways. My immature humor. I've been going for a little over an hour, and it's 11:45 my time. I'm in Mountain Standard Time. Kira, you gotta stop. Again, this is why I skip Geyser Rock. You gotta stop. Thank you. Maybe I can get through Misty Island tonight. We'll see. I've waited too long and these fries are no longer that good. I have my Fitbit programmed to remind me to start getting ready for bed at 11:15. And I don't think I've listened to that notification a single time. It was a good intention on my part. I think. I don't know. Like, I do want to get up earlier and help my wife and stuff, and, like, I think there's some benefit to that, but also I think a lot of it is just like cultural brainwashing. This like puritanical idea that it's immoral to sleep in late or whatever. At least that's how it was always for me growing up. Like, you're not a good person if you're not like working your ass off from sundown till sun up. Like, that's just you're a bad person if you take breaks or if you sleep in or if you rest or not even just like sleep too much, but like sleep at the wrong time. If you sleep from midnight until 8 a.m., well, that's awful. You're such a lazy heathen. You should be sleeping until you should be going to bed at 8 and waking up at 6, and that's what good Christians do. Not to pick on Christians, that's just what I grew up around. I'm not singling any religion out. I'm saying religion in general is bad. I can piss off everyone. Uh, but yeah, I think part of me is just like, why is it good to be up early? I mean, like, we already have a mountain of evidence that shows that kids do better if we start schools later. Kids do better educationally. Workers are more productive. And, like, our current schedule is bad for everyone. The way our society is structured is only good for a very few people. But they also are the ones who have the power to change things unless everybody else agrees on things and overwhelm them. But, like that's going to happen. When can this country ever agree on anything? So, the people with power will continue to have the power because there's not enough people without power. The people without power can't agree on what to do about the problem with the power. So we're just going to keep having things to be the way they are, and like we're just going to have to deal with that. And that's fine. Like, I've kind of resigned myself to that. That's just the reality of the world we live in. I love how Jack looks pissed. Daxter's like half terrified and shoving this thing in his bag, and Jack's just like, "What the fuck are you doing back there, dude?" So yeah, I don't know. I just again, I'm a relatively late comer to this arena. I I was very much opposite of all of my thoughts on everything, and like had to be the best at everything I did, and couldn't take breaks, and couldn't make mistakes and that kind of shit because I was told I had to be perfect. I had to be the perfect representative for Jesus, and people had to see me and be impressed, and when they asked why, I'd have to tell them because Jesus. And like, yeah, I grew up in a very kind of extreme circumstance, an extreme example of it, but shut up, Dax. I don't actually know if my desktop audio is loud enough for you guys to even hear him, but it's loud in my ears. I should turn down my volume, then, you say. Well, you're smart, but that would take my hand off the controller, which I don't want to do right now, because you have to hold the A button to go in these stupid A-Grav zoomers. So I need both hands right now, is what she said. God, it really does bring back the juvenile humor. Hopefully someone enjoys it. So anyway, I probably ponder a lot of things and think that I have profound ideas about them in the same way that, like, all kids do when they go off to college and try weed for the first time, but I'm, a decade behind that, so my ideas are more profound, I'm sure. I don't see any more lurker balloons. The fuck happened? Also, I hate that you can jump too high. Oh, there's that guy. Where'd you go? Where are you going? Come on down, buddy. I hope you're the last one. God damn, that stupid cutscene animation, whatever. It looks like they're slamming the ball right into your face. And, like, I know it's not going to hit me because it's the last lurker. But it's terrifying every time. Even if I wasn't going to die. Alright, I'm going to turn down my audio. And by that I mean the audio in my ears. And I'll turn the desktop up just a little bit more. Because I just looked over and realized how quiet that is. And that was probably a little too quiet. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't actually know what that reference is from. It's just one that I've had my whole life. I feel like I looked it up one time and it was like an old Western. I think. Which I never got into. No one in my family was into Westerns. I don't know that I've ever really truly even seen a Western. No, I'm going back to like I've seen the Three Amigos, which I believe is like a parody Western. I don't remember too much about that though. I might God, it's gonna sound so dumb. I might have seen a Western on like a road trip at band camp or something. I did band through middle school, and then I did my freshman year of high school. I was in band, and I did marching band. And because it's like outside of school time as well for marching band, you have to do like the summer camp and all this other stuff. Like, I think it got me a couple extra credits or something. I don't know. But it finished off most of my fine arts credits I needed that freshman year. So I didn't love it. I really didn't like the director at our school. Like, playing the trumpet was fine. I kind of enjoyed it, but man, I don't know. I mean, it was probably in my head because I was a dumb high school kid, but like, it just felt like he really didn't like me, you know? Like I'll admit I probably wasn't the model student, especially in band camp and stuff, because like I was a gawky, awkward teenage kid who liked playing video games and standing at attention out in the sun while somebody yells at me to like hold my trumpet up higher or whatever. Like, I probably wasn't great, and I was very distractible, so like I got called out publicly quite a few times. And like, I get it from their point of view. Like, in a marching band, everybody has to be like in perfect sync or whatever, because like you do competition and shit. Like, if I'm off, the whole formation's off. So like, I get it. I get where they're coming from, but like, I just felt like I got singled out all the time when there were like groups of people not doing well or whatever. Like, I would get called out by name. At least it felt like it to me. Again, I was a kid, so maybe it wasn't as bad as I'm remembering, but I hated pretty much all the adults involved in the program. Some of my best friends were in the band, and like I didn't really want to leave them, but like I couldn't stay. Like, it was just drove me crazy. So that's how I quit band after 1 year in high school and proceeded to do nothing for the rest of my high school career. I did like a bowling club with some people that were like half friends. You know how that gets in high school, where it's like people who are like, you hang out with them and stuff, and like, you kind of like them, but like, it's also like every time you're with them, it's kind of hard to tell where the friendly banter is and where it's like actually like, hey dude, not cool, cut it out. Like, again, maybe I was just like overly sensitive, and they were like, yeah, we were best friends, but I was like, I liked them, but also like kind of didn't like them a little bit. So I did bowling club with them. And then because I thought it sounded fun, I did ultimate. I was on our school's ultimate team for a couple of years. And I did that purely because it sounded fun. And it turns out that oh fuck, I forgot. I haven't done this yet. But I came to find out, and like, again, I was an awkward teenager. This is almost all my fault, but like, most of the people on the team were kids from the grade above mine. I think I started my sophomore year, so they were juniors. And it was like a big group of friends that basically just wanted to like go do something together. So I was like younger, and they all knew each other, and I didn't know any of them. So like, and I wasn't socially adjusted. I'm not sure I'm socially adjusted now, but I'm sure a whole hell of a lot more socially adjusted than I was then. Well adjusted? Am I skipping part of that? I'm sure you get what I mean. Um, so yeah, it was.
This place gives me the
I did it for 2 years. It wasn't a bad experience, but again, I just never really felt like I fit in that group either. Um, so yeah, it's just. That could be the kind of things where like we'd be at practice on Tuesday or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, that diving catch you did at the game we played on Saturday at that park was so cool." And it's like, "Oh yeah, you guys see each other outside of here as well." And it's just like that kind of stuff. I'm like, most of the time it's just because like they didn't plan to go play Ultimate. Otherwise, they would like invite me to do stuff if they're gonna do like extra practices or things like that, like outside of the club. So it was like a super informal club, and the teacher was just like a young guy, pretty fresh out of college, who just liked playing Ultimate himself. So like, didn't really teach us anything. It just we all sat around and played Ultimate together. Um, it's like they would hold like extra practices outside of it to be like, oh, we're gonna try like the cup and disc or cup and bowl or something. I don't remember, like formations and shit like that. We didn't learn that in the club, so I didn't really learn that. But like a lot of times they would just like be kind of like hanging out together and be like, oh yeah, we should play Ultimate, and then they would just start to pick up game, and I just wouldn't hear about it till after the fact. I'm like, again, none of it was like malicious or anything like that. It's just I wasn't really part of that group. I was part of the team, but I wasn't part of the group, you know. So, part of me's like, maybe I should have stuck with marching band, because again, like a lot of my good friends were in marching band, and they stayed my good friends for most of high school. But and then I wasn't part of a big part of their high school career, because like, if you know band kids, like they're band kids, like that is a defining characteristic of them. So I just. I think I kind of screwed myself in a couple ways in high school. If I could go back, I might have done things differently. But also, again, and I can't stress this enough, on top of the most important thing, above all the other things I've talked about, is like, I was a super awkward kid. Like painfully awkward. So I can't say that going back and making different choices would have made any difference, is my point. Like, I needed to learn more about people and like things, and how to, you know, talk to people and be a normal human being around other people. And I didn't get that till college. I've been a late bloomer. Got that a little bit my freshman year of college, and then I took a 2-year off break to go bring souls to Jesus. Yeah, and those two things, going out to college and not having my sister's shadows, and why am I going back up there? I don't need to go back up there. Muse the sculptor. Ooh, what's the last one? Oh, the island out there, because I didn't do that half. I did things weird this time. I don't normally go to this side of the ship first. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck! Okay. Oh fuck, that was scary. I thought I was gonna be like... So I know if you land out in the middle of that pool, the lurker shark will eat you. He's out here too, that fucking bastard. But yeah, so... God, I lost track of what I was saying. Yeah, I got out of my parents' house. I got away from my sisters, who were great. I love them both, but like, they were always like bigly involved with extracurriculars and great in academics and all that other shit. And like, I don't know, I just didn't care as much as they did. I hate those little fuckers. I'm not gonna make it. Didn't make it. If I hadn't avoided that guy, I would have made it. Learned how to be like a little bit of my own person. More so than I'd ever been at that point. I'd been very much like what people told me to be. And none of this is unique. I'm not trying to be like, oh, my story is so unique and interesting. People should listen to me talk about me. I'm just rambling at the screen because I'm playing a video game that reminds me of my childhood, so I guess I'm going to talk about my childhood. Welcome to the show, folks. Yeah, so I got a little more people skills. That 2 years just living in a different country, being basically alone with one other person the whole time, like that person changes and you don't get a say in who it is. And some of the guys I was with, one of them became my best man later when I got married, and still good friends to this day. And others, like, I physically fought one, like, could not stand each other. And this guy just knew how to piss me off in every possible way. And he, to be fair to myself, that's the only time I physically fought someone where it wasn't like agreed upon, like officially or unofficially boxing, that type of stuff. Like that, I don't count as like, I count it as fighting, but I don't count it as like, oh, I picked a fight with this dude. Like, this guy, the only guy I've really physically fought with in any kind of way that I think was probably unacceptable even. I think I had good justification. He would not stop kicking this poor fucking family's dog just because he thought it was funny. He was trying to flirt with the daughter of the family. Like, I was like, dude, you can't keep kicking that dog. That's not okay. Like, you're being an asshole. And he just thought it was the funniest thing. And, like, the girl was laughing at it, too. So I was just like, I got so pissed. I'm like, it wasn't even a big fight. I, like, shoved him against the wall to get him to stop. And, like, I still wasn't super athletic, but I had spent the past year at college, like, working out with my roommates who were big into running mostly, but they got me into weightlifting and things like that. So I also wasn't as scrawny as I'd been in high school, so like I had some muscle on me. And this guy was not. He wasn't large, but he definitely was not in shape. So it wasn't exactly fair either. But no, I hated that guy. Just got under my skin so bad. I hope I actually did everything there. I know I got the precursor orbs because I remember that pop-up, but I should have checked. Alrighty, where am I at? Alright, cool. I did get everything there. Turns out I can even play this game when half paying attention and high. I think I gave you the 90 orbs for your campaign, but I'm not positive. I did. Okay. If I paid attention to what I was doing, I could also probably shave a couple hours off my time. Oh, God. I love the fact that I can skip cutscenes in this. I wish I could skip their dancing, too. Or make it like an option you can toggle on and off. Because, like, it's cool. It's awesome. It's great animation. It's my childhood, right? But, like, there's 101 power cells in a game. You can go through in about 8 hours. So 8 hours times 60 minutes, 480? I think 480 minutes. So you figure if you're averaging them out, a little less than one every 5 minutes, it gets a little old. Especially when you are doing far more than 100 because you can't actually play the game that you're trying to pretend like you can play. So you keep dying and having to start over. It's great. It's great. We love it, folks. We love to see it. That sounded more like Bill Clinton. Damn. All right. We love to see it. And now that I'm trying to do Bill Clinton, I'm not going to be able to. So fuck it. I'm not doing impressions. Alright, let's see if I can make it through Fire Canyon without blowing myself up today. Shut up, Kira. I don't want to talk to you. You were probably my first video game crush, but like, you mean nothing to me now. I've seen real women.
See if we can catch air on those workers.
I'm not being quiet because I need to concentrate. I'm being quiet because I'm crying. I'm just kidding. No, I do actually need to concentrate. I've died on this part before, and I don't intend to die here today, but I also want to get it all in one run.
Time to steer harder.
So yes, I am trying to concentrate. I hate this. Ugh, so close. Damn it. Oh fuck, I missed the balloon. Yes, yes. I hate that it even makes you stop and watch the cutscene when you're on the zoomer. I should look into what mods are available for open goal, because I would bet there's one that mods this shit out. Like, again, not that it's bad. It's just very repetitive, and it's again an instance of where the game is deciding you don't get control anymore, we do. And in the original one, it was probably for loading. And so it could, like, you know, save the game to the memory card. And it took actual processing power for the PS2 to do that. That isn't needed on these modern ones. Like, when it's playing natively on PC, I guarantee you it doesn't need to stop the whole game to save the game. It can do that just fine. So yeah, it would not surprise me at all if there's a mod that edits that out, because there are some mods for open goal, I believe. I know there's like expansion levels and HD textures. I've got the HD texture pack installed right here. So I should look into it, is my point, in case that wasn't clear. I gotta remember to talk to the geologist before I go into the precursor basin this time. I honestly don't know why I'm still playing. I should probably go to bed. It's a school night.
Hang in there, little ones.
Shut up. Also, I hate your fire moles. They're probably one of my least favorite things to do in this whole game. Are they lightning moles? They're probably lightning moles. Why, you ask? Because it feels like they don't actually respond to anything that you're doing. Drive my zoomer right up behind them. Try to poke them towards the hole, and they're like, oh, you want me to turn around and go the other way? No! No, I don't, you little shit. Oh, that's another one. I was never allowed to cuss, so now I cuss way too much as a result. That backfired. Now I sound like a teenager when I'm in my 30s. Probably should have saved some orbs to give to that guy, because now I can't go out there. Oh well. Guess I'm not gonna finish Sandover Village yet. It's 12:10.
This stone is very old.
I need 55 more orbs. Alright, here's the plan. I want 100% Rock Village right now. So I'm going to go partially complete this section. I'm going to get enough orbs to pay the warrior to move the pontoons back, because I'm stupid and didn't do that right the first time. Then I'll finish off Rock Village. Not Sandover, that's the first one. And then I'll call it a night.
That's one of those flying lurkers.
No, it's not. You're very late, Daxter. Almost there. Almost there. Almost. Oh, what the fuck? Guess I shouldn't drive while under the influence. No, I'm actually not even that high anymore. I need 6 more. No, I'm not doing that right now. If I go through that, I'll feel compelled to do it, and I don't want to, so. Fuck that shit. I'm running away. I will get exactly 90. Put them back, crybaby. Let me go take them to victory. Oh yeah, then I gotta go out to that island out there by the precursor city, where I died earlier today. God, we're in for a perfect reset tomorrow. Or whenever the next time I stream is. It's not actually gonna be tomorrow. Almost certainly. I typically don't do 2 nights in a row, and that's why I'm never gonna be famous. That and because I... This is gonna sound really untrue coming from somebody who's streaming on Twitch. Like, I don't want to be famous. I want to be rich. That'd be great. And you know, somehow streaming on Twitch turned into me making... What the fuck? No, I don't count that. I was jumping over him. That should not have killed me. I'm not counting that. I'm calling that bullshit. Yes, yes, I know that I'm doing the exact same thing I just talked about. Oh, god damn it, I didn't get the one up by his hut, did I? It's probably still up there. I'll get it later. I'm doing the exact same thing I talked about where... Oh, I'm not sure if I'll call this run legitimate, because I really did die. But, like, this one, like... Come on, I had no idea that if the shark was around, you couldn't jump over the platforms. Like... Whose fucking idea was that? Because I didn't touch the water. I'll have to watch the replay. But I'm pretty sure I didn't touch the water. That shark grabbed me just because I was over the pontoon and he was close by. Which, in hindsight, yeah. I probably shouldn't be jumping around in the air when there's a giant shark nearby. But I didn't think this game followed real world logic. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna say that's not a death yet. It is a good lesson learned, though. I'll sleep on it and see how I feel about it. If it means, or if I wake up tomorrow and I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's going to invalidate this run, then sure, I'll go ahead and do it again. Why do I have a 5? What all have I spent money on? Because they're... Oh, because I got... No. Okay, so in every level, I've gotten a multiple of 10, and I've gotten 100% of the orbs in every level, except for Precursor Basin where I've gotten a 5, which explains why I have a 5 left. I'm sure this is really simple, and I'm just being dumb, but like, why isn't the number of orbs I've spent also a multiple of 10? Because as far as I remember, it's only 90s and 120s. God, this is going to drive me crazy. Okay. This is really stupid, but I have to do it. Guys to rock, you don't spend any. 90 is 180. 120, 120 is 240. 240 plus 180. 420. 420. $420 plus 360. Yeah, so if I've only been spending in multiples. Oh, it's just timing. It's because I stopped when I needed 5 extra orbs. Once I finish... God damn, I am stupid. I must still be high. It's how the orbs are split up across the rock village versus when I was paying for shit. So when I was paying for shit, I needed 5 more because I couldn't get like probably 15. I would guess there's 15 between that section and that island behind that island. That would make sense. So that's why I got the multiple of 5 in Precursor Basin. It makes sense.
Even with power cells, will we have enough power?
Okay, I will admit, I will concede. Oh fuck, that was a bad idea. That one might have been my fault. Okay. Fuck you, shark. I'm gonna beat you to that pier. Also, like, I get that the game just has him coming from a random part of deep water, but, like, really? He's hanging out under the city? You want me to believe that?
Well, I hope you packed a lunch.
Back again, boys?
I will concede her voice is very attractive. Is what I was going to say. Alright. That's it. I'm out. I was probably like 40 some odd % complete. Not bad. I'm regularly getting a lot further now, so I see progression. I'm going to keep going. We'll do this again tomorrow, lads and lasses, or whoever you are, whatever you are. I don't care. Just thanks for being here. Have a great one. Take care.